Okay, we'll start with the roll call. Here.
Here.
Minutes of their last meeting from December 2nd are in your packet. Moved and supported. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed say nay. Are there any abstentions? Passes. Next up, opportunity for individuals to address the Planning Commission. Is there anyone here who would like to address the Planning Commission at this time? Going once, twice, 3 times. Move on.
No communications.
Should have a committee report. It's not listed. Brandon was the chairperson of the Personnel Committee.
Chaired this morning Personnel Committee, and we recommended this board eliminating some positions and recreating some positions and creating a new division.
Thank you. There's a handout as well. If anybody wants a copy, I know we did an email, but it should be good. Okay. First off, in the last 6 months or so to a year, we've been very fortunate. We pulled in 4 additional grants for the Planning Commission. They total a little over $3 million. We've had 3 grants for a weatherization program. That's a new program that we're running. And then we've also received a little over a couple $1 million on trails, a new trail initiative that we have. So with those additional dollars, we're looking to kind of do some restructuring in our office. And one of them is, it's been something that we've been looking at for quite a few years, really standing up an environmental division. You know, you've seen in the past we've had separate environmental reports, and you've seen that the one manager kind of juggles both of those. So with this, we want to stand up an environmental division. So in order to do that, what we're looking to do is we're going to eliminate 2 of our lead planner positions and then create a division manager position as well as a planning specialist position. Both of those new positions, we look to hire internally for those as promotional opportunities, and then backfill those positions with additional staff. In addition to that, we're looking to create a planning or a program compliance specialist position in our home improvement and weatherization division. And this person would be a person that we now have about 7 different funding sources that are coming in on that program, and they're going to be the kind of behind the scenes person that makes sure from a compliance, programming, how do we program those projects, so that you know, we can leave the intake person to do their stuff. There are our guys that are out in the field doing their stuff, let them handle their stuff, and then just have somebody in the office that focuses specifically on that. And so that ultimately, with those changes, that would be an additional position to the Planning Commission. As far as funding goes for these positions, we've received grant dollars to cover those, whether it's from the Mott Foundation or Department of Energy, State of Michigan. So there really isn't, with these positions, a big cost as far as to general fund. I would say as a caveat, however, and this is a small caveat. That total weatherization program, we do have something that's going to be coming to the board to approve the last contract. And with that, the total weatherization is about $1 million, roughly, $1,000,001. Damon, does that sound about right? There's about somewhere in the tune of about $40,000 that the state of Michigan will not cover as eligible expenses that we have in that program. So there will be a small request for that entire $1 million to be able to cover that. And that's something that Crystal, the CFO, myself, have met with the state and looking at regulations on what they're willing to cover. And there's just expenses that we have as a county that are just not eligible to be billed to that grant. So that is a caveat on that, a total that program. But other than that, I'm excited. I think it sets us up for the future to really hit home on that environmental piece. And part of that is, the trail and sustainability piece as an office. And with this, our goal in that division, there's lots of work. We got a recycle building. We're still building in a totally new program that we're standing up. In addition to that, our goal is we really would like to see in the next 5 years about additional total $50 million in trails. And in order to really hit that hard, we need the staff to really go after and figure out the funding packages that happen from the federal, state, and local level. But with that, I'm willing to answer any questions.
Once you compare the charts, and we did a lot of this, once you compare everything, one of the planners becomes a division manager. What you're really only creating is you're creating a housing compliance person, an additional planner, and an intern. Those are the things that are new that we really didn't have. So when you cross everything out, you're really not adding that many people that are under the new money coming in that allows for the funding of the positions. It took us a while looking at flow charts.
Unanimous vote, though, to bring it to this board. So moved.
Aye.
Any opposed say nay. Are there any abstentions? Passes. Thank you. And that was all that the committee had, right? Is there a motion to approve the committee report from the personnel committee? Moved. Is there support? Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Any opposed say nay. Are there any abstentions? Passes. New business.
No new business today.
Stick with the same old.
I think at the end of
Gossiping
December,
about
people are
people.
like, I'm done. Don't want to send any more stuff in.
All right. We do have quite a few things to discuss. Finances. Contracts, vouchers, and bills. Start out with the easy one.
So before you are our disbursements for the month of January up to today, a little over $40,000. Biggest two pieces you're going to see are the $16,000 for the Recycling Education Design Center. So that's the firm that we hired to do the education center design, as well as our architectural services for $22,000. I will double check that. believe at this point we've been able to pull it out of our existing funding that's coming in for this year, as opposed to pulling it out of our fund balance. But I'll double check that. I'm pretty sure that's the case because it's not a large enough money. If we look at, say, the $1 million that we pull in, we're pulling it out of our
Support? Moved and supported. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye. Nay. Are there any abstentions? Passes. Next, finance issue would be commission expenses and per diems. Approval and supported. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Any opposed say nay. Are there any abstentions? It passes. We get to the financial update report. And there are two financial update reports.
Yes. So we have, let me see, let me get my clicker going the correct way. Okay, so we have two. One is our up through the end of last year, which is a draft. These are not audited numbers, but we thought we'd at least bring you a draft to take a look at to show how we ended up for the end of the year. And then the second one we're going to talk about is October 1 through November 30th. As far as how we ended up at the end of the last year, we actually ended up in good shape. As far as our expenditures, a couple things you're going to notice in here, though, that will jump out to you is excessive revenue over expense. And so if I look at the first column of planning and I go all the way down to almost the bottom, we had a fund balance of last year about $280,000, and this year we have excess revenue over expenditures of $1.1 million. And so that is actually directly related to we actually received grant dollars that we're passing through to our local units of government. So the Mott Foundation gave us basically a check for that $1 million, just under $1 million, and that we actually will we have contracts with our local units of government to spend that dollars. So that's why you see such a dramatic line item. That's the Mott funding that we're getting. On the other side of the house, which is our recycling, you're going to see our total. If I go to the very bottom, total reserves and about 2.9 million and change, roughly, with about 2.1 million of that restricted currently for the building. Ultimately, our goal is to use as much of that for the building as we can. So we're sitting just under 3 million for our building.
Reflect the 900 money?
No. Nope.
2.9 plus.
Yep.
So about 3.8.
About 3.8. Yep. So we're in good shape on that. I'm just gonna go right to the end. So how did we do overall? We did pretty good. If you look at our expenses, our staff costs came in as we anticipated, a little bit under, both for our fringes and our salary longevity line items. And then if you go down the list, you're going to see all of those came in at or under throughout. So we ended up doing very well for this year. If there's specific questions, I'm answer them.
Now, this first issue is a draft of October 1 to September 30, last fiscal year. What kind of action do we need to take,
If there's, we just wanted to bring it. There's no requirement to approve it at this point since it is a draft. But I just wanted to bring this information, kind of pre-audited numbers, to kind of tell you how we're going to end up at the end of the year.
Is there anything, comments, anyone wishes to give on these numbers? Questions? Then we have our current update report.
So these numbers are up through the end of November. I'm just going to go to the same line items I talked about before. If you go under planning, you're going to see excess revenue over expenditures, with a fund balance of 1.4. We received some additional MOT funds for the staff costs and stuff already this year that we talked about, that 275. So that adds into the previous amount. And then if we get to year-end, year-to-date so far, as far as staffing, pretty consistent. We're right about 11% for both our staff and fringe costs, which is our biggest expense. And other than, I think, insurance, we've been billed out fully for the county. The rest of them, we've had very small expenditures, being we're only a couple months in.
That we do need approval on. Well, actually, we can do we're going to separate out the changes, the transfer request. So, is there a motion concerning the financial report? Moved and supported. Any discussion, questions? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Any opposed say nay. Are there any abstentions? Passes. All right, now we have a request, budget transfer request.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So just looking at our 26 budget, obviously we work on this in the early summer, and so once we get to the start of the year, we do some adjustments. That's how we think things are coming in. So we just have a few changes. We're looking to decrease our federal revenue, which is our Safe Streets grant, by $103,000 because we actually completed that grant in September, which was good. We're looking to decrease our inspection fees by $800, and then increase our salary and wages by $10,381 for some of the changes that we have for contracts. Decrease Social Security. I won't get into all the nuances there, but I'm more than happy to answer questions. Decrease consultants to 103 because of the Safe Street grants we finished already. And then increase our hazardous waste day and decrease our building maintenance by $20,000. That's just in anticipation for our ERG contract. And then the next one we actually go through and detail out where those are going to be.
So the only tricky part is that the red doesn't mean negative. It just means that's one of the changes.
Yep.
Brackets are your negatives. All right, and that will put us on schedule for where we need to go.
Yep.
Is there a motion concerning the budget transfer request? Questions, discussion? Hearing none, we have a motion to approve the budget transfer request that's been supported. All in favor say aye. Any opposed say nay. Are there any abstentions? Passes. Back to our project status report, starting with the housing program update.
Damon?
Morning, Damon.
Do you not have a microphone?
You can just stay there if you want to.
Alrighty, so I usually do a quarterly report with kind of the numbers that we've seen for the quarter, but I wanted to do an annual version this time. So this chart here kind of shows the total numbers of all the projects that we've completed during calendar year 25. So the first column would be our regular program, which is like full home repairs for qualified households, where we go through and make sure that we're bringing everything up to code. So we did 20 of those this year with 11 underway. Our urgent repair program, we did 10 of those this year with none underway right now. So we actually did spend all of our CARES Act funding, which was back in 2020 through because of COVID. And so we were using that funding to do urgent repairs where we didn't have to go through the whole home. We could just do one item like a furnace or a well. So that's been a really great program, but we have spent all that money now, so there won't be any more projects going forward. The total of, I'm sorry, the roof revitalization program, that is the grant we received through MISHDA. So we've been working on that program as well. We've done 24 roofs so far. This is a combination of CDBG and funding, so we're putting in a little bit of CDBG money as match funding. We're bidding these homes out in groups of 5, so we're working with our purchasing department here. We lump them together to try to get a better price for a group of 5. So we've got a total of 12 groups of 5 homes that we're working on. So right now we've got 15 more that are underway, either contractors or we've at least met. That program continues to go underway. We're hoping to finish that up this year. With our neighborhood stabilization program, that is the program where we purchase homes and resell them after we rehab them. So we have 2 houses going on right now. We have one on Phyllis Drive in Vienna Township. That one, an appraisal was just completed and it's been listed for sale for $180,000. Hoping that sells pretty quickly. Seeing some other stuff in that neighborhood is around the same price and is selling quickly as well. So we're hoping to get that sold. That'll go to an income qualified buyer. Well, they'll have to go through some housing counseling, making sure that they're ready for home ownership. We also have Camden Avenue in Burton, which was awarded to Fitch Builders. They've been working on this project since late September, rehabbing the whole house, and we're expecting that to be completed this month in January. And then we'll work with the land bank to sell that house as well. Go to the next slide. I do have a map here that shows kind of the spread of projects. So that chart you saw with the 54 houses, that's kind of the spread that shows you we've got houses all over the county in every district. So that's good. Also wanted to talk to you briefly about weatherization. So Derek's mentioned weatherization a few times today. So for those of you who aren't familiar with that, that's an income qualified program that helps homeowners increase energy efficiency in their homes and save money as a result. Very complex program. So it starts out with an energy audit where an inspector goes in, sees where like air leakage is, where you might need more insulation, things like that. All that testing gets put into a software program. So that software program will tell you basically this kind of what you need to do to fix those issues. It also gives you what they call the savings to investment ratio. So in order to do a project, we actually have to make sure that our investment is resulting in savings over the life of the project. So it's the state of Michigan is very strict at how they look at that, making sure you're meeting that ratio requirement. So we've been working on the state on our budget for this program for the last couple months, just trying to make sure that we're doing all of our costs that are allowable, as Derek mentioned. We're also starting to get training through MyTech, which is the state's kind of technical training program where they get people certified to be an energy auditor and a quality control inspector. So our inspectors are currently going through those trainings. We're hoping to get started soon working in the city of Flint. There's another, it's called the Human Development Commission. They're out of Tuscola County, and they've been doing some of the weatherization work in Genesee County recently. So we're hoping to kind of take that over from them, but we'll start out with just the city of Flint. And then we'll hopefully take over the whole county. That's an update on the weatherization program. Happy to answer any questions on any of the housing.
Interesting on the chart. Sorry, I'll get to you next. That it seems like if there are groupings, oops, if you want to go back, looks like the groupings are basically Burton, Clio, Mount Morris, and then it's sprinkled out from there. But those are the main focuses, which makes a lot of sense. If you ask somebody to name them, that's probably where I'd put them. It's a little bit different than the deer chart.
So the one thing that we didn't talk about in this program is we also do intakes for the Consumers Energy Program, helping neighbors, and it's kind of one of those things that truly I don't know if people realize the impact it can have on people. So we get a ton of calls at different times for people in the city of Flint that we can't help. A bunch of emails about their furnaces out, those type of things, and Renata actually is the person that will call that person directly and actually do the entire intake for consumers for them. And so she sits with them. She walks through all the steps on the screens, make sure they get all their information in. And consumers is really good about she'll get a notification within a day or less sometimes that they've got it and they're like working to send somebody out to that Consumers Energy Program for furnaces will take care of a furnace air conditioning at no charge. And a contractor will just go out and take care of it for them. Part of the piece we probably did, how many, Renata, would you say in the last year? 39, 40? And so even though that those aren't funds that we're spending, we put our staff time into that to make sure we can actually get those people that help. And the part that I chuckled the other day, I got an email specifically, and it was a person that was part of the Consumers Energy repair program, appliance, where they fix everything in your house. And they had came out and did an inspection, said their furnace was gone and she needed a new furnace. Calling us for help. And we basically was like, well, Consumers actually has a program that will take care of this for you. So it's just kind of one of those things that from you're not going to see those on the chart, but for anybody that knows about trying to get somebody enrolled in a program and trying to find the right website and all that, we really try and be that one-stop shop. And maybe it's an hour of Renata's time, but it's an hour that's well spent to help probably 39 people a year in addition to those numbers. But that's just a kind of a little side that just kind of shows the time and patience Renata has for dealing with making sure that gets squared away.
Concerning the housing program report and our shadow repair program. Moved and supported. Any questions or discussion? Hearing none. So all in favor say aye. All opposed say nay. Are there any abstentions? Passes. Okay, thank you. Move on to the transportation program report, status report. Do it from there? That works.
It seems funny to be sitting. The transportation division has been working with our road, our new transportation improvement program. One thing I did want to note, though, that's not in the packet, we had a chairperson on our policy committee that had been with us for 48 years, and he just decided to step down in December. And we're just thankful that we have members of the public that want to serve and assist us in these programs for that length of time. So that was very nice. Bob Johnson. He has done a great job, been here longer than Mayor Derek, and we are going to have elections.
Hopefully the vice chair gets that opportunity. But that's one of those things. If you ever sign up to be a vice chair or whatever, and then the chair leaves, I think everybody looks at you and you're like, guess you're it.
So I'm happy to answer any questions. We had it during our meeting in December.
support. Is there a motion concerning the report? Transportation. Moved and supported. Any questions, discussion? Nothing further? All in favor, say aye. Any opposed, say nay. Are there any abstentions? Passes. Thank you, Sheila. Okay, the American Rescue Plan Act. December status report.
We have completed a couple more of the senior center. So we've completed the Crapple Senior Center in Mount Morris and the Low Center in Linden. Also, the Westwood Manor Apartments on Clio Road have been demolished, and we should be receiving final bill for that. We're expecting 3 additional center projects to be completed this month. So we're moving along, and that money has to be spent by the end of September, and it looks like we're on track to do so.
Is there a motion for this report? Support? Thank you. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed, say nay. Are there any abstentions? Passes. Moving on to the environmental program update report. Morning, Jacob.
Good morning, Mr. Chair. Good morning, Commissioners. An update on our Recycling Education Center. Staff provided detailed feedback to our consultant, our architect, so they can update the building layout and the corresponding estimated cost. So really dialing in what I mentioned last square footage and the flow of the building. So we will expect that we have an update site layout and estimate later this month. And that way we can keep moving forward with as we onboard a construction manager, hopefully in the month of February, early March. So, speaking of construction manager, we held 2 interviews yesterday. They both went really well. We had help from our facilities and operations department in the interview, as well as purchasing, as well as our planning commissioner, Jeffrey Peak. That was really appreciated to have his thoughts in there, coming from not just from the staff at the county, but somebody that's in the field. So next steps would be we have to finish all of our scoring, and then that will be compiled and submitted to purchasing for what we believe would be a recommendation to the board and committee. Happy to answer any more questions.
Is that then going to go to one of our committees?
So we're going to look at timing on that. And so we tried to put our intent was that we were going to do those interviews before the Christmas. And if anybody's tried to schedule things before Christmas in that week or two before, it's just a nightmare. So we weren't able to coordinate that. So that was as soon as we got it. What we're going to look at right now is we literally just did the interviews yesterday. So once we get those interviews, depending if we can come up with some kind of recommendation from that group, then we're going to circle back and look at timelines, what process we want to go to. So that's something I'll circle back with you and talk about. Because typically we would come to Planning Commission for that recommendation to the board. So without having a recommendation today, I'm not, I think we're good. I think, two different firms there, but we have to wait to see what the scores are.
We had 10 firms.
And then you narrowed it down to a group to interview, or just those two?
Just those two.
They were the highest scored that met the requirements of the proposal.
We got 10 applications. How many fell out?
They didn't fill out didn't sign something.
That are left, are they local?
One is, and one's from the Lansing area. Yeah, so their role is going to be, so we have an architect that's doing the design. Their role is going to be the actual management of the construction. So they're going to put the bids together, bid them out to the different contractors, and then they'll also have a person on site every day as a construction superintendent to kind of supervise and manage the site.
Construction manager. Discussed last meeting that there was a requirement that they not perform work during the course of the project because a lot of construction managers, and then they fill a number of the different line items of the contracts themselves, and that's where they get a lot of their profit. So we want a true construction manager. Do you think that any of the applicants were truly looking to do something a little different like that, or were they all seemingly on board with the CM only?
I think there was a mix. Most of them were true to what we were looking for, but I would say there was a few that were kind of leaning towards what they're used to doing, not just being a construction manager solely. And you could see that in how they proposed staff hours.
Not that that can't work, but you want somebody who's real focused on their job instead of focused on how much money they can bring in to justify the supervision.
That's from Genesee County. We really want that owner's rep that's on site, that's working directly for us and only doing the focus specifically on that and not be for doing that and also performing activities. So that's kind of our which is different than we've done in the past on our previous projects. And we want to kind of focus. We've talked to a few other communities that have had good success with this approach, and so we want to. I think it should work out good.
And that's the environmental update. Thank you. Is there a motion concerning the report? It's been moved and supported. Any further discussion, questions? Hearing none, we have a motion to approve the report that's been supported. All in favor say aye. Any opposed say nay. Any abstentions? None, it passes. Thank you, Jacob. Next is the CD report.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. During the month of December, we did finish all of our contract review meetings for our CDBG block grant, and we wanted to make sure that if any of the local units, municipalities had any new staff, or if they were just needed a refresher, understood what was in the contract, expectations for reimbursements. So those went very well. We'll be working with 21 local units on 42 projects over the course of 2026. And just as a reminder, this is 2025 funding that goes into 2026 as just the delay in how we get the federal funds. Speaking of 2026, we've begun working on our action plan. We did hold our first public hearing kickoff meeting in December, but more steps to come on that. We will ultimately be taking a recommendation to allocation and ultimately the Board of Commissioners early summer, but we have to wait until we get our updated numbers for HUD for the 2026 program year. That's the majority of my update. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Motion concerning the update. Moved and supported. Any further discussion, questions? Hearing none. All in favor say aye. Any opposed say nay. Are there any abstentions? Passes. Thank you. Now the report of Director Coordinator.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. A couple things, just a notice on when we have our public meeting scheduled, 21st, 27th, 28th. We kind of try and roam around different parts of the county, so we're at slightly different locations. And well, and different times. So, you know, if you can do it at 11:30 to 1, swing by here at the farmer's market. You know, if you want to head up to Clio from 1:30 to 3, and then we have a later option 4 to 5:30 for public comment. So all the notifications went out. We are in the process of actually making changes. We've got lots of really good feedback, and we're just working on some of the comments that we've got back yet. So we will probably be bringing some drafts, potential changes after we get through committee back to this group to take a look at those. But appreciate everybody taking the time to give comments and read through, help us really fine tune it so it's clearer, more direct, and really gets the message home that we're trying to instill in everybody. The other thing that I wanted to chat about is so we're working currently on a grant application for the, if I say something wrong, let me know. Is it Build, Sheila? Okay. So that is a grant application for potential funding to do road improvements around the advanced manufacturing district. Tyler and his group, as well as the road commission and communities, we've kind of sat down. There's an opportunity to go after up to $25 million of funding for infrastructure improvements, roads, transit, etc. And in partnership with that, that's a federal grant that's out there. There's also a state grant out there that is due on the 8th, which is what, a couple days, Sheila, from now? Which we were at the road commission yesterday working with them on it. And that's to provide match funds for that federal grant. Advanced Manufacturing District. Did I say it right? Yes.
Quasi-airport.
West of the airport, south of 69, basically. And the intent with this is we were at a meeting recently. Tyler Group hosted a meeting where they had Deloitte. Did I say that correctly? They came in and they said, which was pretty. We're in a pretty elite group as far as that project, right? Like they showed a map of this whole side of the country, and there was 5 like that have that kind of acreage, and of those 5, we have pretty much land control over almost all of it, like quite, yeah. And we're clearing land, and we're actually like prepped, where a lot of the other places don't have that one ownership. So after that meeting, one of the things is like, okay, well, what's the next steps for these projects, right? And the next step is we got to get some of the infrastructure squared away for that site. And so if anybody's ever drove down Maple Road in that area, you know, it's really, and I'm not saying you can't close your eyes, but if you're trying to get 1,100, 1,200 acre development with the size of investment and scale of jobs, you know, it would be much better to drive down a nice road into that site, right? That's proper, and you know, and ultimately so that for developers when they come in, some of that stuff's already taken care of for them, right? So it's not a hindrance, right? So a lot of times when you see developments come in, oh, we got to do some road improvements before you come in, right? So it's looking to upgrade Maple Road to a 3-lane road, so allow some turning movement. Also looking to upgrade from Miller down on Elms, and we're looking to push that actually all the way down, potentially down to Grand Blanc Road, because you know if you think of any site coming in, people are going to want to go the way they want to go to sites to give more access. Putting in some trail, non-motorized, that connects into Swartz Creek. Has a large trail system that connects into Flint. Let's get that done and kind of work on some of those things. So, big project, awesome group of people that are pretty dedicated to making stuff. And so yeah, our first hurdle is we get a grant application. We're working with the road commission in a couple days. That has to go in. Sheila and I met with them yesterday. Road commission is going to be the applicant for that. We're looking for probably about $4 million from the state, roughly, in rough terms. Probably it's about a $23.5 million project for the infrastructure piece. And then once we get this first one in, we have a meeting this afternoon to kind of talk to the bigger group about it. And honestly, we just got to roll. This is a great opportunity to get stuff squared away. We won a pretty awesome project, and so we want to be ready for the next one when it comes in and take away some of the things that potentially are a little slight hindrance. So. Drive Maple Road, just drive it. Kind of like they shoveled stuff on top of it and made it. But that's my report.
Board Director, what's your pleasure?
Approval.
Moved and supported. Any discussion?
So far. Yes, we haven't reported back officially to that group. If I look at what I saw, the numbers came in.
Any other discussion, questions? Hearing none, we have Director's report. Out there, it's been supported. Discussion's closed. All in favor say aye. Opposed say nay. Are there any abstentions? Passes. Commissioner comments. Start out with the parks.
Summer, obviously a busy time at Crossroads. Foremark continues to stay busy, everything from inside and outside hikes. Several hikes you can take around Foremark. And on a more serious note, Chairman Crapo and Vice Chairman Washington. Encourage you to visit the website, and there's just so much going on.
we're there because the chair has a position on that board that I can delegate.
Kevin Sylvester's there by virtue of being on the drain commission. Kathy Lane's there from the road commission. We're the three outliers, if you will. And the board handles the rest of them.
That's supposed to be balanced geographically, or if it's, professions or ordinances say a lot of. Yeah, well, it all comes down to that. They have to be appointed, but for example, our ordinance calls for a real mix of people in every way possible, to get it, geographically, economically. Any other commissioner comments? Hope everybody had a wonderful holiday season. It'd be nice to repeat as you think about a few winter months ahead, at least. But it's always good to get a new year and fresh energy and get going again.
73 glorious days. You know, in case you're counting, some people count towards spring. I count how many days of winter.
Well, there's more rain coming. Unfortunately.
I just don't like mud winters.
Okay. If there's nothing else, we have another meeting scheduled. Is it third? All right, February 3. Thank you very much. We are adjourned.